The other thing you said is authenticity and autonomy, very important parts of the recipe. And again, I really like how you quickly went through flow. And I encourage more people to look in your work on flow state and maybe watch our previous episode on our website as well, because it's important to understand all the different things that are going on here. It's much more complicated than it might just look on the surface. That woman saw you do that, 180, but also what went into getting you there were many, many, many different things that got you to even attempt it and then feel great about it and then want to do the next thing. And a lot of that had to do was the fact that that was an authentic expression of you. You wanted to be there, right? That was your choice. You were pushing yourself. Someone wasn't forcing you to do it, and then you are now taking it to a new direction. And I feel all those things in the practices I'm lucky to do. And so it's getting me to these crazy new states. And yeah, I do think what's next? What's next? And I'm sure part of me thinks, well, then what's next in other aspects of my life, as well. Two physical things I wanted to hit on because I noticed them in the book. One you said is that leg strength seemed to be a really important factor on longevity and important, maybe isn't correlated to longevity or determining longevity. And the other thing, the other thing you said also is you're training with the weighted vest and specifically how you do hikes with that. And those were two things that were in my mind that I want to talk about before we maybe get into some of the mental aspects of this.
Okay, so let's start with sort of strong legs and move to the weight vest. So this is wild, and we'll talk about why. But in the elderly, in older adults, leg strength is the single most important factor for longevity. In fact, thigh muscle mass inversely correlates with mortality. And so the question is why, right? Well, why is that? And there appear to be three answers. One is sort of the most obvious, which is most people by now have heard that social connection matters. It matters for psychological health. And this is doubly important as we age. Maintaining robust social ties is similar to mindset in its impact on health and longevity. It's about 7.5 years of extra health and longevity. And when you lose your legs, you lose your mobility. And if you can't walk, can't move around, you have much less kind of a social life. And there's impact physically, and there's also impact mentally, right? You want to use the brain as much as you possibly can over time. And other people challenge us in ways that we don't always challenge ourselves, right? So there's some of that. Some of that is that one of the most common killers, if you aren't going to die for cancer or heart disease, and more of those things are curable, chances are you're going to fall down and you're going to break a hip. And it's not the hip break that's so problem. It's the secondary infections. That what happens is you break something as you're healing, your body is putting all this energy into healing the hip. Now suddenly you get pneumonia or COVID, right? That tends to be a very popular killer of older adults. They did a huge study with 300 twins in all over the age of 55 at King's College in London. And out of every health and lifestyle factor they imagined, leg strength was the single most important correlate. So a couple of other things about leg strength, and this will tie into the weight vest. One of the other reasons that leg strength is so important, especially in maintaining cognitive health, is the cutting edge of physiology, neurophysiology right now is bones and bone health. And what we are learning more and more is that bones store all the nutrients and minerals for the body. And when they break down bones, that's one of the few things that penetrates the blood-brain barrier. Our bones store everything or much of everything that we need to run our brains, including calcium, which is involved in almost every time the brain does anything, there's calcium involved, and that comes from our bones. So preserving bone density is really important. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it. You have to lift a lot of weight. You have to pressure the bone very heavily to do this. And one way you can do it is training with a weight vest. So besides bone density, let me also back up and tell you one other thing about preserving physical function and the user lose-it skills we started out talking about. So if we want to rock till we drop, you need to train the body. And we actually know exactly how much and how often. Like the World Health Organization has peak performance aging recommendations, right? You got to train strength, stamina, agility, balance, and flexibility. You got to do it on a regular basis. You'll hear me use the term dynamic play or dynamic deliberate play. Dynamic is shorthand for all 5 categories of functional fitness. That's all I'm saying. Saying it uses strength, stamina, agility, balance, and dexterity. And you want those things at once. When the brain encounters dynamic movements, it tends to amplify neurogenesis. So exercise gives us new neurons. Dynamic exercise gives us way more new neurons. It's much better. That's one of those little tips. But so with a weight vest, you can hit, if you stretch before and after, you're hitting all 5 categories of functional fitness and you're improving bone density. So in the book, I say, look, a lot of the sports we're told are bad for us as we get older. Action sports, for example, are actually really good for us. And one of the reasons is they're dynamic. They train up movement. But just to put it in regular sports, so there's all kinds of studies done at the Mayo Clinic, and they wanted to know what are the best exercises for health and longevity. And so they've rated them over, I think it was 25 years. And they know if you join a gym, you're going to get about a year and a half more kind of longevity. If you take up running, it's like 3.1 years. If you play badminton or tennis, it's 7 to 9 years. And a lot of it is badminton, tennis can be social, first of all. So there's social activities, playing with other people. And 2, they're dynamic activities. You need all these categories of functional fitness. So weight vests are a way, if you're not able to play tennis or ski yet, and you need to train yourself up, it's a really great place to start. And because it hits so many things at once. I said earlier, peak performance aging, there's a lot to do, and you want to train for old age like a professional athlete. But part of what I mean is not just train hard. You got to train smart. Professional athletes train smart because there's too much to do otherwise. So you want dynamic activities, because if you didn't, here's the normal WHO peak performance aging guidelines on physical activity. You need 150 to 300 minutes of aerobic training a week. That's moderate to vigorous. So you've now done five hours basically of aerobic training that's moderate to vigorous. You need 2 strength training days a week and 3 balance, agility, and flexibility days. Now, if you're really training that stuff, that's about an hour and a half to 2 hours, 5 days a week. Not everybody's got that kind of time. I sure don't have that kind of time. So I need activities that are going to train multiple things at once, because I can't train 2 hours a day, or not every day. And the other thing that I loved about the weight vest, and this is sort of the most important thing, is it fit into my schedule, right? Find stuff that fits into your schedule. I have dogs. My wife and I run a dog sanctuary. I have to hike my dogs in the mountains every day. It's the job. It's part of what I do. So putting on a weight vest doesn't, other than the 2 minutes it takes to put it on and take it off, there's no extra time. I'm doing what I normally have to do, and I'm just making it harder, right? So that's how I like to think about it, because, we're all busy. And you don't want to skimp on this stuff because you really want to thrive for the rest of your life, however many days are ahead of you. So you want these kind of smart work options.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I am just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just in overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.